All right, so it is December 13th, Saturday, December 13th, 2025. Winter is coming. That's what I'm gonna. Winter is upon us. So, it's actually here. Winter's here. Metaphorically, figuratively. Anyways, I wanted to give my opinion. It's not financial advice, but I wanted to give my opinion about this 50-year mortgage thing and why I think it's a good idea. Now, normally this would be a terrible idea. This would be horrible. You know, it would be great to have an economy in a situation where we could afford, have a 30-year mortgage and not have to, do all this financialization and securitization, financialization, all these magic tricks with money just to get people into housing. However, I do think this could be a way for us, people like you and me, the younger generation, to at least get our hands on something, especially if the payment is affordable. And if the terms of the mortgage are good enough to where you have enough extra money left over at the month where you can pay down the principal quickly. I think that could be, especially if it's an affordable spot and if it's in a good area. I think the one variable that would make it worth it is if the location was really good. So I think it's a good idea, especially if you can pay down extra money at the end of the month, paying down the principal. Because here's the one thing that separates the rich from the poor in America. If it came down to one word, one thing, what separates the rich and the poor, that's ownership. It could be ownership of a house, ownership of, it's not in vogue to be free and be a renter, and they're trying to make it seem like that's in vogue, but it's not. Ownership. You mean my dog? Maxie, come on. Maxie. Yo, Max, come here. Max, come on. Let's go. Get your butt in here. Let's go. What are you doing? Jeez. My dog's crazy. Anyways, it's not in vogue to be a renter, and that contrary to how much programming there is, how in vogue it is to be a renter. That's so cool to be a renter. It's not actually. What's really cool is ownership. Max, get in here. Come on. Get your butt in here. Say hi to Maxie. This is my dog. Come on. Say hi. Oh, good boy. Who's a good boy? You a good boy? Okay. Ownership separates the rich from the poor. Not being cool and going with the trends and being in vogue, renting in a cool spot. No. I'd rather own a crappy little hut in a good location than to be renting in some cool, aesthetically pleasing, amazingly looking. That's bullshit. I'm not. I'd rather own. Anyways, the 50-year mortgage, if done properly, in my opinion, not financial advice, if done properly, can really benefit the younger generation, especially if you can pay the principal down. If there's money left over in your income, money left over every month, where you can actually get ahead and pay that principal down. I think it could be a good thing. At least it gets you into ownership. And ownership is a mindset too. So when you own something, it's just different. It just hits different. Ownership is the mindset of being an owner is just so much better. And by the way, let's see what the average net worth of somebody who owns compared to somebody who rents. Check this out. Average net worth of owner versus renter. It's incredible. Let's see. Homeowners have a higher net worth than renters. Between 22 and 2025, the median homeowner net worth from 2022 to 2025 was between 400,000 and 430,000, compared to the renter's net worth of 10,000. Own. If you can. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm trying to offer my opinion to help you, and really help myself too. These are just my opinions, my biased opinions. What we have to work with is so much different than the boomers. What we have to work with is so much different, and you got to work with what you got. This is what we got. But we also have, even if you could own a hot dog stand, you could own. It's not just owning property. I think property is the easiest way to do it because you can live and improve. Property is the best, in my opinion. But you can own, you can own a small business. You can own a pool a company that cleans pools. You could own a route, or some type of service. You could own. Ownership in general is what's going to separate It's okay, buddy. Ownership in general separates the rich from the poor. That's my opinion. Winter's here. Winter's coming. It's going to become more challenging going forward. And 2026 is going to be more challenging than 2025. But it has the potential to be more fruitful than 2025 and 2024 and 2023. If we're going to be going into like a debasement cycle, then getting out of fiat and into, stocks or property could, in my opinion, could be the way to go. That's just my opinion. I sold my car and my watch earlier this year, and bought stocks with it. I think that was a good idea for me. I'm just driving a regular car now. I have a regular watch. Not expensive. My car's not expensive. And I had a really nice expensive car, really nice flashy expensive watch. And I dumped it. I'm like, what? Flip this. I don't need this. I don't need a freaking. It was cool though. I mean, it was nice. It was a really dope car. But I'd rather grow my wealth. I'd rather grow my money. I'd rather be in the stock market. I'd rather plan on owning home. I'd rather, make plans to buy property. I'd rather build my wealth right now in my 30s, because the 20-year-olds, the people who are in their 20s and 30s right now, we have the opportunity. Now, fewer of us, the baby boomers had it in a way where most of them could gain their wealth over time very consistently with great predictability over years and years and years, and end up with a huge nest egg by the time they retired. I think, as a matter of fact, the average baby boomer has a net worth. It's here, average boomer net worth. It's insane. 1.2 to 1.6 million average net worth. That's fantastic. But the top 5% of the boomers, I think they got like 12, 13 million. It's crazy. Like, you're not even in the top 1%. I think the statistic is that you're not even in the top 1% without 15 million or something as a boomer, or top 5% as a boomer. So the top 5%, here we go. Age 65 years old. You're only the best out of 20 people if you have a $7 million. If you have less than $7 million, you don't even make the top 5% as a baby boomer. So these people had it really good. God bless them. But we don't have that. However, what we do have, the younger generation, the millennials and Gen Z, what we do have is access to information. And yeah, our future is not predictable. We don't have a bunch of opportunities. The wages suck. The jobs suck. We're competing with, it's unfair competition. It's crazy. We can talk about that in a different video, but the competition has been corrupted. So we're competing with, it's unfair competition for millennials and Gen Z. And then if you think about it, think about the millennial. We get out of high school, enter a crisis. We get out of college, there's no jobs. Then we deal with 2020 crisis. It's been one crisis after another crisis after another crisis with plummeting wages. By the way, I'm not complaining. This is just what it is. And then Gen Z, these people are ultra defeated. They have a 5-minute attention span. I feel super sorry for them because they were growing up in a situation. The world was stacked against these people. I feel sad. I feel sad for them, but there's more hope for the younger generation that I think people give them credit for. I have a lot of hope in Gen Z, personally. A lot of people just dog on them and ride on them, and I don't really see it that way. I see lots of hope with that generation. I see a lot of innovation coming from the younger people. Even though we don't have opportunities, you can set yourself apart by being proactive, because everybody has capitulated, everybody's thrown in the towel, everybody's quit, everybody's so defeated. It's so sad, but everybody's so defeated that if you're willing to put your head down and invest in the right things, pick the right things to invest in, and that's where you have to do your research, you can get ahead of the pack way quicker than boomers could. It took boomers 25, 30, 40 years to get their nest egg. You could have a nest egg in 10 years. Boom, you're good. Boomers didn't have that. Boomers did not have that. We do. It's going to be harder. It'll be way harder than it was. But, such is life. There's no easy path to this. And that's okay. That's completely fine. That's just what we have to work with, and I'm okay with that. And by the way, I think the 50-year mortgage is a good way to something to consider. If you're making $10,000 a month and your cost of everything is way more than if you have nothing left over to save, to put into stocks or anything like that, then talk to a financial advisor. But I think the 50-year mortgage, if done properly, in a good area, in a good location, solid spot, with low cost to carry the house, you can do a lot of the work yourself. You can learn on YouTube. You can fix things yourself. I think that could be one thing that might help our generation and Gen Z. And that's just my opinion. But winter's here. Winter's coming. And that's okay. That's fine. Another thing, if you've made it to the end of the video, if you could please subscribe. If you could please like my video, please subscribe, especially if I've done anything to help, offer any opinion. And then, lastly, by the way, I appreciate you making it this far, but I'm gonna keep making videos on this channel. And the other thing too, I wanted to say, which has been a great help to me personally, is lastly and probably most importantly, is one thing I've done that I can say has improved my finances financially, is prayer. It might sound, I don't know who you are and don't know anything about you, but the one thing that's helped me in a really, really big way, is prayer. So praying about this has brought me great peace, and I perform better when I'm at peace. I perform much better when I'm at peace. And if I have peace and I'm calm, I can think properly. And I think all that comes from God, praying to God and having my peace and serenity comes from God. I'll pray for it. I'll pray for a lot. And I pray a lot, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but that is something since doing that, since praying to God, and just listening to the Bible or listening to people speak about the Bible, just listening to that type of stuff, because I'm not reading the Bible every day or anything like that, but I'll listen to on YouTube or something. I'll listen to some of that stuff and just praying and listening to the Bible has brought me so much more peace than I used to have, and it's truly allowed me to perform at a higher level. I really can't take credit for a lot of the growth in my life. I'm going through it just like everybody else, but when I see evidence of, I truly see evidence of God helping me, because a lot of these things, as intelligent as I am and as much as I know that I really don't know hardly at all compared to a lot of people. However, I do see evidence of God, because my life has, ever since praying and write down my goals, and that's also another thing that's biblical. It's just I'm writing down my goals. I'm writing down what I aspire to things that I want, things that I don't want. I'm struggling like everybody else. I don't write down things that I don't want, but I'm struggling like everybody else. I'm trying my hardest. I know I have a lot to offer, and I know I have some contrarian opinions, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, if you've made it this far to the end of this video, if you could please like and subscribe. And the one thing that I hope you guys take away from this is look into the 50-year mortgage. Look into the 50-year mortgage and pray about it. Pray about all this. The more I pray, it's the phenomena. What happens is the more I pray to Jesus, the better my life becomes. And that's even when I'm going through struggles. Like I'm going through some struggles right now, and praying brings me peace and clarity, and I hope I'm not babbling on too long, but consider some of these things I've talked about, and like I said in the previous videos, maybe skip the music and skip the sports and try and learn a little bit more. Put learning in place of listening to music, and and then pray about all this, and I am very confident 2026 is going to be a good year for us. You can do it. Even if you're Gen Z, even if you're a millennial, I know you can do it. I can do it. You can make it happen for yourself. At much 5 years goes by so fast. 10 years goes by so fast. If you just put it down on paper, put a 2-year plan, 1-year plan, 6-month plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, you will make it happen for yourself. I promise. With the help of God, just pray to God, and you will make it happen for yourself. But look into this 50-year mortgage. I'm not telling you what to do, but that's just my opinion on it. A lot of people are dogging it, and I was thinking to myself, like, ownership is the one thing. Ownership is the one thing that separates the rich from the poor. So why are they dogging it? Yeah, it's a shitty proposition. It's a bad way to get into ownership. It kind of sucks that you have to go 50-year freaking mortgage. That flipping sucks, but dude, it's still ownership, right? It's still ownership, and there's a way you can be savvy. You can do your own financialization savvy way to pay it down, or you can. There's a lot of stuff that these banks will do to help you out to make sure that they can write a loan. Don't ever forget that. A lot of banks, they need you just as much as you need them. They writing the loan to you isn't that's something they need to do. So don't ever forget that. I'll be back for more. I know this is just my 3rd or 4th video. I'm just babbling. I'm trying to catch a groove, get into the groove of things, but hopefully things are going to be going forward, going to be a little bit more crisp, more concise, less babbling. But I'm new to this, and I'm here to just try to do everything I can to help. And thank you so much. I appreciate your time. God bless you. And if you want to like and subscribe, there will be more to come. And take care.